year to like start, not even start fresh, but just like go off of what you've already built, you know? So I'm just so excited.
And you know what? For all of our viewers that are not familiar with who you are, please just let us know your name and your social handles.
My name is Nala Ray, everybody. I'm the Ahego Queen. You can find me on Instagram at fitness_Nala. My Twitter is fitness_Nala. I'm the queen. Just that.
We interrupt this program to prescribe you with 1,000 milligrams of red vitamins.
Right here, right now. It's the right time, It's the right sound. Right now. Tell the whole pipe down. Tell that nigga pipe down.
What's good, shout around? It's your boy Reclaim Your Throne coming at you with another crazy video. But first, my goal is to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. And you already know, Reclaim Your Throne.
Listen.
Is he up or no? Oh, he's up. Okay. I'm gonna bring on Reclaim Your Throne first to go over this. So you can pull him up and then we'll go back to that, guys. Hello.
What's up?
Welcome back to the show.
Absolutely glad to be here.
Did you watch the interview? The Michael Knowles one?
Interview from the No Jumper joint or the Michael Knowles?
No,
one?
the Michael Knowles one. I was just curious.
Yeah, I watched it. It was very interesting.
So
I mean,
So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts with what's going on X right now?
Oh man, it is a crap show. Honestly, I just have never seen this amount of simping going on. Here's the thing: a lot of people are caping for her. A lot of people are defending her actions and whatnot. But I just like to remind people of the timeline. Okay, this woman was baptized in December, or allegedly baptized. I mean, I don't even know if she faked that, right? Mm-hmm. But she was still monetizing the OnlyFans. The least she could have done was the money that she made up until the point where the account was deleted, which was like 24 hours before the Michael Knowles interview, which I think was very much planned and very much coordinated, you know, especially if you look at the price hikes. She went from free, then she goes to $8.99, then she goes to $9.99, then she goes to $10, and then she ends up going to $25 a month, then hikes it to $50 a month, like the last month.
And when did she delete it finally?
So she deleted it the day before the Michael Knowles interview premiered. So let me just pull that up.
Because it's mad convenient that the conservative commentator career is starting, right? You know, that's a big name. That took me years to get on. You know, how many people want to go on that show? And It's mad convenient that the OnlyFans is deleted the day before. What happened in January? Go ahead.
Right. So she deleted the OnlyFans was not active April 5th. The Michael Knowles interview premiered on the 6th. So, I mean, it's like, what are the odds, right? A lot of people were saying, oh, well, she can't delete it because, you know, OnlyFans won't let you delete until the last subscriber, time runs out, which, you know, we went through 3-4 pay cycles before that happened. So she obviously didn't want to delete it. She wanted to prolong it. And I mean, you see in the messages, even she was saying, hey, I'm not going anywhere. I'm changing my page to be more me, all this stuff. So she was telling people that she wasn't going anywhere in the first place. So she had no real intention, in my opinion, to delete the OnlyFans. The main reason why she did it is, right, we get the Michael Knowles interview, and she still has management. She's doing what we call in marketing pivot marketing, where she was OnlyFans this, that, and the third, and now she has pivoted to the Christian lane because those are gonna be paying people as well. All right, they're gonna be people who she is able to monetize, and then she saw the potential with that 4 months that she didn't delete the OnlyFans. So I think it was strategic. She has management. She's actually, I dropped a tweet it was a couple weeks ago, actually. Oh, it was March 27th. She has management, and I pretty much broke down all of that. So essentially on New Year's Day, there was a video that was posted on YouTube, and she had attended this event called, let me see really quickly. Sorry.
But what do you say? What do you say? They say
Creators Inc.
Oh, Creators Inc. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What do you say? They say she needs time to delete it. I mean, that's what the simps are saying. They're saying you can't just expect her to change overnight.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the most ridiculous part, because when you are baptized in the Spirit and then you end up, you end up repenting and you turn away from your past life. But what it looks like to me is she's trying to take advantage of the people that she had along in her past life. And I mean, and then even bring on new Christian simp subscribers. So, I mean, I think it was a very devious plot. I actually have back end data of her growth. And let me share my screen really quickly. If you guys can enable that.
Can you enable it, Blessing? The share. No, enable the share screen. Okay. Yeah, I mean, guys, this is simping. This is crazy, and I'm the bad guy for bringing up simple facts.
Yeah.
Simple facts. Go ahead.
It's really sad too. Hold on 1 second. I gotta, because there's a video that I want to show you guys as well, because this was pre-planned, and I don't want people to think that, it was just, I don't know, like she didn't have this all planned out. It was all mapped out. If you look at this chart here, it shows her growth, and it shows she was actually bleeding subs. She was actually bleeding views, because a lot of times, like I told you guys in the last stream, they get lazy. So she made $9 million on OnlyFans. So she gets lazy, right? And okay, I made enough money. That's exactly what happened. I made enough money. Let me start my life now, right? That's pretty much what I perceive this to be. Okay, I'm not saying anything definitive, because I know she probably got a bag and will come after people and all that kind of stuff, because that's what people do now when they get exposed. But I would make a bet that she was probably, she was hitting a trough in her content creation when it comes to OF. All right. She was, I'm not saying that she, couldn't make any more money, but I'm just saying it wasn't growing, and she didn't have that growth. And because she's under management, they want to see growth. Okay. So they want to see, what's going to shoot the numbers up. And as you guys can see, I mean, this is plain as day. Look at the data. It shows you right here. In December, boom, it shot up. It shot up. Mm-hmm. What do you call that? She got baptized and boom. Her views, her subs, they go up. So there's actually a video that I want to show you guys here. And it pretty much is her talking about her plans for the new year. By the way, this is New Year's Day when this video happened. She attended a Creators Inc. Event where essentially it's like a red carpet for OnlyFans content creators, pretty much, right? And a lot of people in Miami understand that and whatnot. And all these people, they kind of work together, and it's a connected network. And they're all under this umbrella of Creators Inc. And that's run by a man named Andrew Bachman. Okay. And I can show you a video of him describing his company and him saying, yes, this is pretty much a pornographic company, but we take on other content creators and whatnot. But we specialize in pornographic content. So, I want to show this video. This was on New Year's Day. She was baptized, between December 1st and December 28th, to give that broad range. I don't know the exact date she was baptized, but she was baptized 100% in December of 2023. And this is New Year's Day. She's attending Creators Inc. which is the management company that she is partnered with or under. So I just want to play this video really quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Muzz, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Happy New Year!
How are you feeling about going into New Year? Like
Listen,
2024?
I'm fucking ready for the ups, the downs, the sadness, the happiness, the joy that's coming. I'm so looking forward to this. Like, every year is like a brand new year to like start, not even start fresh, but just like go off of what you've already built, you know? So I'm just so excited.
And you know what? For all of our viewers that are not familiar with who you are, please just let us know your name and your social handles.
My name is Nala Ray, everybody. I'm the Ahego Queen. You can find me on Instagram at fitness_Nala. My Twitter is fitnessnala. I'm the queen. Just that.
The queen.
The queen.
The top tier.
Top tier.
So let us know why you're top tier.
I feel like everything that I do blows up. I have a niche in the system, and I feel like I'm exploiting everything that I'm doing to like the highest level possible. So, yeah.
So you know what? You have like the best energy and like this beautiful array around you.
Thank you.
How did you get connected to Creators Inc?
So I met Andy like 2 years ago. We connected over literally a watch. I was wearing a Rolex. He owns very beautiful watches, and he complimented me in that, and I was like, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about, knows his business. And then from there we became extreme business partners, and we've just like grown together as like partners. So Andy's helped me in every endeavor that I've taken on. He's also been my mentor, just there for me through everything, and I'm so thankful for Andrew.
Well, you know what? We want to know what we can look out for from you in the new year.
Wow, so much. You guys, I don't even have one answer for that. I feel like everything that I'm doing is just gonna blow up. I'm doing fight training, weapons training, gymnastics. I'm literally learning Japanese. I'm here to just like blow up. I want to entertain my crowd beyond any other creator that's here, that is in this world. I'm just here to just like blow your fucking minds.
Well, we can't wait for our minds to be blown into
I'm ready,
2024
mama.
by you. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you
Fab
so
TV.
much. Thank you guys.
All right, bye.
Happy 2024.
Wow.
And that was New Year's Day post-baptism. Now, there were a few things that I want to point out before I show you guys the guy who owns Creators Inc. and you know what he's behind. But there's a few other things that I want to... She referred to herself as the Ahego Queen or Ahego Queen, whatever you call it. If you guys look it up, and if I have it linked in my breakdown of the updates from the 27th, I basically explain what that means, the Ahego stuff. And if you go to Wikipedia, it says Ahego is a term in Japanese corn for a facial expression of characters, usually women, during intercoursal arousal or an orgasm, typically with rolling or crossed eyes, protruding tongue, and slightly reddened face to show enjoyment or ecstasy. So she's referring to herself as the Ahego Queen literally after being baptized. So how does that make sense when you're using a moniker that is so closely associated, easily searchable, so closely associated to pornography? The next thing she says, I have a niche in the system. She says, I have a niche in the system. What do you think that niche is? The conservative Christian market. Because we've seen an explosion of trad, influencers and all this kind of stuff. And she saw that and she was like, hey, this could be a good niche to attack in 2024. She said she was exploiting all of her options. Okay? I mean, she met the guy, Creators Inc., 2 years ago over a watch, and she was impressed by the watch, obviously, because she is a vain person. I mean, that's just the reality. And she's talking about blowing your effing minds and all this kind of stuff. Does this sound like a woman who was recently baptized?
No, but the Spirit overtook her, remember? You didn't listen to the interview? She was doing all the self-improvement around this time. You didn't hear the interview? That's what she said.
Exactly.
We believe what we say, right? Us, women, we believe it, right? She said it on the show.
it's literally a joke, and I don't know how. I don't know how people are continuing to fall for this. And if people don't think that I'm accurate or reporting accurately on this this company that she works for, let me show you the video of Andrew Bachman, basically her boss, who is confirming what the company is all about.
Are you to create creators? Are you to create Creators Inc?
During the pandemic, I was actually working with a Harvard neuroscientist who was trying to create a protocol for the Department of Advanced Research for our military. And a female friend of mine from back in the day who knew me when I was a young, marketing guy in my 20s said, Andy, I need your help. I've got $100 to my name. I'm some lady's nanny in LA doing her grocery shopping. I'm stressed out about getting coronavirus. So I made an OnlyFans, but I can't figure it out. And I said, what the hell is that? And I logged in and I said, oh, wow, you're trying to thirst trap at scale. You've got no marketing logic. This platform's really robust in the sense that it can facilitate the transactions, but it doesn't do a great job of taking a creator with a blindfold on, saying do steps 1 through 10 and you're going to make a bag. So I really realized early on and had huge success with her. She started to run around LA and kind of tell her friends, don't trust your OnlyFans business or your content creating business to nightclub promoters or rappers. There's these people in Boston, they don't simp, they're numbers driven, and look at my numbers. And it's really turned into a full-blown agency, and we've really gone much more kind of creative arts with it. Paywall is definitely where it's at, meaning you're kind of like the spicy type of content, but you need the front end. And so we're really starting to see kind of the brands come back to those big influencers who kind of lean toward the paywall to get the bag. And that's pretty much it.
That's incredible. And top creators tonight, why are you so excited to celebrate them?
Because it really is a big deal to put yourself out there. Absolutely. And it's not about money, it's not about...
What inspired you to...
Was she the friend that he's talking about? Was she the first one?
Yes, that
wow.
Is Andrew Bachman.
So my question is, did she go to each OnlyFans girl that she recruited and apologize to them in person? Or did she just go on a podcast and say that she was, because you would think because that's what she kept talking about. She was so sorry about all the damage she did, but according to him, she's the one that recruited all of them.
Well, yeah. So the woman that he was talking about in the video, that's the different.
Oh, that's a different one. Okay.
Yeah, he's the person that she was referring to when it comes to her getting linked up with Creators Inc. I do want to make that distinction, but there are some things that Andy spoke on. He's bringing people into OF, and he's using women obviously to bring people into OF. The same thing that people are going in on Andrew Tate about. He's doing this in the United States, and it's completely legal. Okay, if women want to consent to go into OnlyFans, all that stuff, and then they got their paperwork right, okay, it is legal. But is it something that a Christian would do? Would a Christian person work with a man who is actively recruiting young, vulnerable, broke women into OnlyFans? Okay, and then he also pointed out the reason why he had to help that woman with her OnlyFans is because she was in Boston, and the Boston men don't simp. Why do you think the Boston men don't simp? Well, because they're mainly white Christian people. Mainly men is going to be the demographic you're going after when it comes to corn. So they're conservative men. And the reason why they don't simp is because they simply...
During the pandemic, I was actually working with a Harvard neuroscientist who was...
Sorry.
Are you to create...
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
But they don't believe in that stuff.
Trying to create...
Are you to create...
All right, let me just stop the share.
Okay.
But yeah, so these guys, they don't believe in doing that. But how was she able to bring in these types of men going trad and saying that she's a Christian and saying that she was baptized and all this kind of stuff? I mean, this plan was well thought out. She had help from Andy. It was a marketing strategy that she used and it worked. Okay. She has used it to perfection, actually, because in my opinion, I think there are more people who believe in her transformation than not. On X, at least. That's what it appears. So that is frightening. That is disheartening, because you would think that Christians would have more discernment. But we're in this everybody's included culture. We're in this participation trophy culture. And I mean, it's just wild because literally the same day that I exposed her, the last day I exposed her on the 4th of April, she literally boosted the subscriber cost from 25 to 50. So I don't think she was gonna stop unless she got that Michael Knowles interview.
Well, and
he.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, you're good.
No, and there's I've gotten messages from people saying that she put her account on restricted mode. I don't have any proof of it, so it's just messages at this point, but I'm curious to see if it's true, because I think there's a way on OnlyFans you can restrict your account and people can't search it.
Yeah, so you can temporarily deactivate the account. This is pretty much what you can do on any social media platform. You can temporarily deactivate your Instagram. You can temporarily deactivate your Twitter. You can temporarily deactivate Facebook. Any social media account that you have, you can temporarily deactivate it. And what happens is they give you a certain amount of time before all that content is deleted. So usually it's a 30-day window, between 30 to 90-day window, because that's just how they operate periodically. So she, could have potentially deactivated it because, I had somebody send me a screenshot, and I can pull this up too. I had somebody send me a screenshot just the other day of the account still being up for people who were actively subscribed.
No way.
So that one is, it's tricky because you can really do a lot when it comes to the deactivation part of OF and all that kind of stuff. So let me see if I can pull that screenshot up. And he references the date. He shows pretty much everything. So I can pull that screenshot up and.
And do you see how people are attacking me because I'm pointing this stuff out? It's crazy.
Yeah.
They'll defend an OnlyFans model to the grave, but because I don't just believe her story, then I'm not a real Catholic. We're not Christian enough. We're judging. Right. When it's like this stuff makes the church look stupid, and it makes men not want to go.
And here's the thing: there's this trope online, especially on X, between Christians and whatnot, and they're saying, "Oh well, you can't judge, but the Bible says that we should judge and we should use our discernment to walk away and not be deceived by these evil things. If we weren't supposed to judge, then how are you supposed to decipher who is the Antichrist and if you are following a false prophet if you aren't supposed to judge?" So I think people like to take passages and nitpick from the Bible and use these blanket statements to say, "Oh, you can't judge. Okay, I don't have no heaven or hell to put anybody in, but here on this earth, I can make a judgment and use my discernment to say, hey, this person is a deceiver. Hey, this person is a false prophet. Hey, this person is bearing false witness." So, it's funny when they say that, oh, you're not supposed to judge, but then, how are you supposed to even move around in life if you do not make judgment calls, if you do not use your discernment, if you do not use the wisdom that God has blessed us with? How are you supposed to operate at all? So I do have that screenshot up, and so here is.
Can you zoom in a little bit better, if you don't mind? On your screen, just zoom in so people can see it better. There you go.
Oh yeah, sorry. Is that working?
Yeah, if you just go in a little bit more, there you go.
Okay. All right, yeah, it gets a little grainy the more I zoom in, but you guys can see April 8th, okay? April 8th, the account is still up. It says it's for free, so she must have changed it back to free. Obviously, she deleted all the content on the page, but for subscribers, they're still able to access the page and DM her. So, I don't really know what's going on, on the back end technologically, but as you guys can see, there is a possibility that she could just reactivate the account because she temporarily deactivated it. So, I think it's going to be a waiting game from now. I've got a lot of receipts on the way that she's moving. Apparently, there's also a Telegram still selling her content. I don't know if it's her, but if you ask the person operating, they're saying that yes, they are her 100% and they're under her direction. And I can bring that screenshot up too.
Oh yeah, bring it up.
That one is wild. I mean, Shorty got a menu and everything. So, and like I said, I don't know if it is actually her, but
well, and she's had not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 months to take it down. You know, no one can keep you in a sex contract like we talked about last time.
Exactly.
So you had 4 months to figure it out.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, it's just wild how you have so many people who are completely falling for the scam, and a lot of people spent their money not only to see if she had actually changed, but obviously there were some people who were drawn into her content after she announced her baptism. So I mean, these are all real things going on here, and you know, it's wild. So let me see. Okay, I'm gonna pull up that screenshot real quick. Because on Telegram, you can't screenshot or you can't screen record. It'll just like blank it out. But she pretty much is sending a menu, and then when the person confronted her on, oh well, I thought you converted to Christianity and da 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 da, then she doesn't respond, even though she was responding quickly before. And like I said, I mean, it could be virtual assistants doing this for her, but it appears that it is under her direction, you know, from my opinion. But yeah, let me pull up this thing right here. All right, give me 1 second because it's trying to download in my iCloud.
Yeah, and even the whole interview, she barely talked about God. I think she talked more about her toxic ex-boyfriend than she did about God. If your whole conversion is about God and you get one of the biggest platforms you're gonna get, I mean, well, other than the OnlyFans one you used to have, but you know, you're getting a platform to talk about your conversion. Why am I hearing more about your parents, your toxic ex-boyfriend, than your actual conversion? She spent like 2 minutes on the conversion and spent like an hour talking about her parents and her ex-boyfriend and her childhood. You know, I have people that have had really tough childhoods, and she had a stay-at-home mom and, you know, and a dad, and she was still complaining. Do you know how many people would love to have their mom at home? All right.
Exactly.
All right. So this is the OIC.
Yeah. So this is the Telegram. And it's sideways, so I don't know if I can flip this thing, but it says she sends a menu, which I'll show you guys the menu after this, but it says how much ? As in like how much content are you trying to purchase? And then the person says, is this the real Nala or a fake account? It says LOL, 100% real. And then the person says, I thought you converted to Christianity though. Why are you still selling P content? Just asking out of curiosity. Still interested in purchasing a video? ? She's not responding.
What day was that? Oh, April 9th. So that was yesterday.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And then here you can see the menu. Preview, $5. Pack for 10, 8 videos and 8 pics. Basic pack, $15, 11 videos and 11 pics. Sexting for 25 minutes. Regular pack, $30, 18 videos and 18 pics. Sexting for 30 minutes and a genital rating. Premium pack, $45, 30 videos and 30 pics. Sexting, 30-minute genital rating again. And then private history. Complete pack, $85, 50 vids and 50 pics, sexting unlimited, genital rating, private history, WhatsApp number, live snap nude. Live snap nude is crazy. Because how the hell are you gonna film a live snap nude when you're supposed to been done stopped it?
Well, and she just got married.
Hold on, so did she actually get married?
Look, it's on her. That's what she said in the interview, and she's on her husband's account. I found her husband's Instagram, so I could show you. That's
hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead.
I mean, you guys get the point. I mean, it's
So why Why do you think they just eat this shit up every single time, no matter how much evidence they're shown to the contrary?
Oh, wow. That was a great question. And the reason why they're eating it up is because Nala actually gave us a preview into the logic as to why people love what is going on with her in the OnlyFans and the baptism and the Christianity. And she said something to the effect of, Michael Knowles asked her, hey, would you take anything back? Do you regret doing this? Would you take it back if you could? And guess what she said? She said no, because it makes for a great story. That's why. That's exactly why. The story. Oh, OnlyFans girl goes Christian and you can do it too. And they're selling the dream and all this kind of stuff. And then she also made the point, well, if somebody who hasn't done OnlyFans tries to tell a woman not to do OnlyFans, then they're not going to listen. And that's just couldn't be further from the truth, because she also contradicts herself and says, hey, well, if my parents just said, please don't do this, it's going to hurt us so bad, or please don't do it.
That,
or even somebody just reached out to me and said this, then I wouldn't have done it.
I know people who had their parents beat them, like literally beat them, and they didn't do OnlyFans. So I'm not, they didn't tell you they loved you enough. Get over it. They got you to 18. They homeschooled you. Your dad paid for all your shit. All of her siblings have children and are married. So is it the person or is it the parents? If all of the other siblings turned out okay. And that's according to her. She said that.
She's the typical black sheep who victimizes herself and makes it seem like she, just wasn't loved enough. Which, I mean, I'm going to just keep it a buck. To me, it couldn't be further from the truth, because I grew up in a big family. For one, if you ain't getting along with one sibling, you can go to the other. If you ain't, getting along with pops, you can go to mom. If you ain't getting along with moms, you can go to pops. I mean, you are daddy's little girl and you out here acting a damn fool. She said that she snuck out when she was young. She was meeting up with random guys on dating apps. This was not anything that anybody forced you to do. And when you keep repeating these behaviors, then your parents are going to be like, okay, motherfucker, like, I'm not playing with you no more. I'm upset with you. I'm disappointed in you. So show me something that where I can trust you now, or get out of my house. And that's what you should do as a parent. You draw a line, you set a boundary, and if that kid don't want to, if that child does not want to honor thy father and thy mother, then they gotta go. Yeah. They gotta go. And she victimized herself because she was doing wrong under the sight of her parents. And they said, no, we're not having it. And we're not going to be supporting anything that you do if you go on this path. And then she took that as in, oh, I'm exiled from my family. Look, man, if you spreading, wide for everybody to see, and I'm a pastor and I got to come back to the church and the congregation and everybody telling me they seen your hoo-ha, I ain't gonna be rocking with you neither. You can't.
That story contradicted itself too, because in a previous whatever podcast video, she said her dad supported her and she sent her dad money and her dad encouraged her to do it. So was your dad the villain, or was he still supporting you? Which one was it? And the other thing that I can't stand with tradcons, it's never because the women want to do something. I used to think before I interviewed 1,000 women that maybe like women were coerced or whatever that word is, like, they have self-esteem or whatever issues, and that's why they go into sex work. And after interviewing more OnlyFans models than I know what to do with and care to ever in my lifetime, no, these chicks want to do it. They enjoy the attention from doing it. They have fun doing the sex work. It's not something they're forced into. They love it. They love being sex workers. So this whole, it was my family, it was this, it was that. No, they did it because they wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, these women are nymphomaniacs. That's what they are. And they love doing it. And if they weren't judged for doing it, then they would continue to do it. That's just the reality. So, I'm done with the excuses. At this point, I just stopped going back and forth with the Christians on X, because nothing's gonna change their mind. Even if they saw her posting a picture from her main account or posting on her story from her main account butt naked, even though she's still posting provocative fitness pictures.
Yeah, pull
on her
this.
Instagram.
Yeah, pull this up, Blessing.
Yeah, I mean, she's still posting edgy pictures and doing all this stuff. So,
I mean, is this? Look at this.
Yeah, and she's still standing on the Hygo Queen stuff and all.
4 weeks ago. What the? Oh, no, this is 2019. But it's like, how long does it take to delete it? Yeah, see, they're all putting delete this. Still up.
She archived. She didn't delete none of them. She archived it. Come on, because that's her backup plan, to go back. Once the money dries out and she figures out the guy that she's dealing with is broke and she has to pay every bill. See, people don't understand, and this is like it's just a red vitamin tenement at this point. This guy who is latching on to her is not financially on her level.
I'll show you him. This is the guy. I predicted, because I find that men that tend to wife up OF models are from single mother homes a lot. And I found one picture of just him with his mom, but freaking yeah, this is what we're dealing with. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, here's the thing. I mean, to me, if he was smart, that's a play. That's a lick. Speed up the marriage, because at the end of the day, if they get divorced, he is getting half.
Yeah.
I mean, what's she gonna take from him? She got more money than him.
Well, and it's a great TikTok story you can make money off of.
Yeah.
He does like the conservative, he does the Christian content. So,
it's a win-win. And guess what? This guy was probably a subscriber. This guy was probably a subscriber.
Oh God.
And what these guys do is, he was a previous subscriber. He probably subscribed anonymously. He probably jerked off to her multiple times. And then he makes the moves to get with her in person. And that's why the OF people are like, oh, these creeps. But what happens is, if the guy is halfway decent looking and then he was a subscriber and he somehow magically runs into her at the grocery store, even though he knows her every move and following her on every social media platform, and it's just fate that we met. No, the guy has been watching your social media and he's damn near been stalking you, but because he's not ugly, then he's not a creep anymore. It's, oh my God, this guy went lengths. If he wants to, he will. That's the narrative that they'll paint. But in reality, if he was an ugly dude, oh, he's a creep, and these guys are weirdos, and why are guys such pervs? But when it's, a light-skinned dude with curly hair and green eyes, and he comes in and coming at you, then it's a whole different story. Now it's the love story. Now it's Romeo and Juliet. So, I mean, it's ridiculous.
And I've seen this film before. God, we've seen it so many times. I learned my lesson bringing Brittany Renner on last year. I was like, all right, I see how this goes. But it's like, how many times do we have to see the same story over and over and over and over again?
He's gonna fold. He's got a lot of he's got a lot of Instagram followers too. And she's got a lot of content, and people are going to be sending him video after video after video. She's got gangbang content. She said her body count was 5. She literally has a video of her getting tossed by 2 dudes at one time. Ain't no way your body count 5.
Wait, what? Yeah. Wait, she has content of her with 2 guys at once? Oh, God.
I mean, she's out here. Okay, she's out here. She got a lot of content, a lot of videos, and a lot of people downloaded it. And it's a lot of stuff on Reddit. And what's going to happen is, they're going to take that content, they're going to send it to him, DM, whatever, and he's going to get it. And at first, he's not going to care. But then the pressure's going to get to him. And then he's going to tap out and say, hey, I can't do this, but, it's time to part ways with half of that $1 million or $9 million. And then, the house too, that I got you to swap under my name as well. I'm gonna need that too.
And did you see in the interview, they didn't say your name specifically, but I know you were the one bringing up the tweets when I brought you on last stream. They were saying that you were lying, that we were just big liars, and she wants to offer all these corrections. But you didn't see that in the Michael Knowles interview?
I haven't watched the whole thing.
It's towards the
last 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's towards the end. They brought my name up because, and I'm not a real Catholic apparently, because I don't believe her. So, she said there was a bunch of lies, but she couldn't tell us specifically what the lies were. But where are we lying?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what. There's nothing that I lied about on my thread, and I made sure I double checked. I mean, if you see how it's written, I mean, it's fact based. It's point by point by point. I mean, there's nothing that I fabricated. Everything that I posted was of things that she posted. There's another picture that I can share too, that she posted on her Instagram story. And this was post baptism as well, in my expose.
Oh, wow.
Guess what? She's doing the Hago Queen face with two other OnlyFans content creators at Creators Inc. Studio.
Wow.
And this was after baptism. This was on her story. And this was March 27, 2024. And she's doing the face. I even circled the face. What did I lie about? Where was the lie? Andrew is your boss. Andy, yeah, the one with the Audemars baguette, the one with the nice watch, the $250,000 watch, yeah, that's your boss. So what did I lie about? I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. But she wants to play deflection. She wants to run audibles and get people to look away because why is she calling me a liar? Because I pegged the marketing scheme. Because I know guys, just search OnlyFans management on YouTube. There are hundreds of thousands of videos of guys telling you how to recruit women, how to, sign them up on contracts, 90-day contracts, all this type of stuff. And that is exactly what Andy does. Andrew Bachman, that's your boss, babe.
No,
boss. You're not a boss, babe. That's your boss, babe.
But I just have a lot of self-hatred. That's what she said. I'm super insecure, a lot of self-hatred because I bring up, I don't know how you can argue with this. It's a nice story. It sounds nice, but I'm sorry, it doesn't line up with reality. And this is the problem. Guys like Michael, they've been with one woman forever. So they have no idea what's going on in the modern market because they don't have a lot of experience with women. They have no idea what's going on right now. And so they let these chicks run circles around them, use their platform to recruit simps. All that episode did was get more simps for her OnlyFans. Mm-hmm. That is the only thing it did. It didn't convert anyone to God. It made the Christians feel good about themselves. Yeah. It told the young OnlyFans models you can make $9 million, sell your butthole on OnlyFans, still get a husband after it, and the church will accept you, and you don't have to do any work and will automatically accept you. And it sent the message to, young guys, like, where was the warning? As an older guy, you should warn younger men to avoid women like that. But, what do I know? I just am self-hating over here, so.
Right. And Michael don't know the game. And I mean, I don't even fault him. I do fault him for bringing her on his platform. But he don't know the game. They try and say, oh, y'all need to touch grass. Bruh, I'm out here. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm outside, okay? And, I mean, this play, anybody could have seen a mile away. And the reason why they're playing the deflection game is because I literally laid out the marketing plan that they put out there themselves. I showed you those two videos. She said it herself. Andrew Bachman, he was talking about the paywall marketing. He said pretty much the only way that you can get them in, you give a little and then you take a little. You give it for free and then you hike up the price. That's exactly what Nala did. So where was the lie? Where was the lie? I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. If she was genuine in debunking the lies and clearing her name, then she would go point by point by point and say, this is untrue, this is untrue, that is untrue, that is untrue. But the reality is she can't defend anything that I said, because even to the point where I predict that her conversion is 100% contingent on this, the light-skinned Christian simp that just cuffed her. It's 100% contingent on that. And if that doesn't work, then she's out of here. She's back to OF. She's back to popping virtual coochie.
Yeah, I think she's going to have a preaching career. So the modern church 2024.
Yeah, and I would hate to see her get in the pulpit and start preaching as if she's an authority on Christianity. Now, that's what And the simps are going to allow her. They gave her the platform. It's over. It's over. I mean, it's going to happen. She will be in somebody's pulpit getting tithes and offerings. And I mean, the Christians are going to be none the wiser.
Is Ari in the chat? Is she still there? Blessing. Yeah, you can bring her up. See what she thinks. But and it's so crazy because everyone keeps saying, Pearl, you're obsessed with her. Pearl, but you know, I miss what Christianity used to be. When I was younger, they didn't let shit like this fly. If you wore something too short in the church, they would kick you out. Hey Ari, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Hey, who's your guest? He's so on point, and I can tell he's some kind of marketer or he's been in this game for a long time because I'm just literally nodding my head. I've never met you before, but I can tell you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you. The name's Reclaim Your Throne on all platforms.
Nice to meet you. I got to check out your video deep dive on this.
Dope.
So what did you think, Ari? Did you watch the interview with Michael Knowles? We're gonna react to it next, but
yeah, I actually watched the whole thing. It's 2.5 hour thing, and it took 6 hours because I was commenting with a friend that joined me. She's a former cam girl, and she's not super religious or anything like. She's actually, I don't think she's religious at all. But so she was kind of giving the raw background, and I also just wanted her there to check me if I was taking crazy pills in what I was saying. You know, I've been specializing in social media and influencers for a very long time. I managed 5 of the stars from the Hype House, Charlie D'Amelio, Addison Rae, managed 3 TikTok houses. And even when I watched the full Michael Knowles video, when I watched the clips of it and when she came out, I fell for it too. I'm like, oh, you know, good for her. And I kind of moved on. I actually think people were getting mad at her and I defended her. I said, give her grace maybe. And then I watched the full, I realized she's going on a media tour, and that's when sort of the alarm bells went off, and I had to reconsider, which I think everybody should do. So that's my.
It's a nice story when you hear it at first, and if you're not, I mean, it's not like we date women, So like from the woman's point of view, maybe you don't know, but it's like, how many times do girls find God at 29? And we're gonna believe them, you have to do something to have a genuine conversion. There has to be something changed in behavior. And so if you're gonna go around saying you're this Christian, delete the OnlyFans link. And now it's still not deleted, it's restricted. God,
everybody's falling for this is a pattern, and if we don't expose it, it's gonna keep going. It's the pattern of fake victimhood online. Because, like I said, even I fell for it, and I'm somebody that knows how influencers operate. I mean, you think about Jake Paul when he said he was going to marry a Tana Mojo. This was to deceive 13-year-olds. And now grown adults are falling for this deception because it aligns with their beliefs, because it makes them feel warm and fuzzy inside. Well, the dangerous thing is that if, there could be real victims from this trend of deceptive influencers and from Nala, if it comes out that, she's being a false whatever prophet, or it's going to damage Christianity and it could turn people away from God, saying, see, that's why I don't like Christians, because they're always doing this. They're always tricking us. And I think that's wrong.
Yeah. And
yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. And well, I don't know how everyone's so dumb. It's like she's done it for 4 months now, 5 months, and we keep falling for it. What did you guys think of like her backstory that she was talking about?
The family sob story?
Yeah, the sob story.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't buy it, okay? I understand your parents had difficulties in their marriage, and that could have affected how you saw relationships and whatnot, but that doesn't mean that you go do corn. I mean, none of your other siblings did corn, and like I said, I grew up in a big family. We got a black sheep in our family, and when that person is messing up, we tell them, hey, you messing up. And guess what? They came back, and we welcomed them back in full arms. They didn't do a social media tour and all this kind of stuff. They just said, hey, what works? What are my siblings doing that works? Okay, waking up in the morning and working out works. Okay, I'm gonna do that. You know, making sure that I'm here where I'm supposed to be. I'm gonna do that. Making sure that, you know, I don't cheat anybody in the way that I move. And if they expect me to be here, then I'm gonna be here on time. Just doing the simple things right in life is going to make you successful. But the reality is she didn't want that. She wanted quick money. She wanted fast money. She didn't want to have anything to do with the church. And her parents were upset by that. And I would even go as far as to say if she could have potentially created the rift within the relationship of her parents by being disobedient and them having to go down and say, hey, are our parenting styles working? Is dad's fire and brimstone the right answer, or is mom's sweet, nurturing touch the right answer? We're butting heads over how to raise this rebellious daughter that we have, so much so that we had to split up. We couldn't do it together. But then from her point of view, they came back, they reconciled in her teenage years and whatnot, and she's still on this rebellious tip. For all we know, her actions going on OF could have caused a second divorce, because now it's like we both failed as parents. Obviously, we aren't doing things right. And I mean, imagine the feeling of a father, of a mother, Christian parents, when your daughter decides to do OF, and not only is she just taking nude pictures and sexually provocative pictures, but she's also having intercourse online for all the world to see, and your congregation is sending it to you and showing it to you and saying, hey, they can't go, he can't be the pastor of that church anymore. He can't. I've seen pastors get kicked out for lesser offenses. My dad, he's actually a pastor. Both of my parents are pastors. And he had to go to North Carolina to check on some other pastor who got kicked out of his church because he was trying to modernize the church. He was just trying to, you know, open the church up to a younger audience. And the old time they said, you gotta go. So imagine if the preacher's daughter, the PK, is, you know, on the online poll, on the online stroll. Imagine the damage that does to that pastor's credibility. He cannot preach at that church anymore. And I think that her actions, you know, absolutely caused a rift between her parents.
And why did her family not welcome her back with open arms?
That's
my question. Is that she said she like glossed over it, but why? Most parents
very telling.
They want their kids in their life. Most parents do. So is there some information we don't know?
The thing too is that I was waiting for the ball to drop in terms of, you know, what was the trauma that she experienced as a child or growing up. And essentially she said, I was forced to go to church every day and I had to stand at the door and greet everyone. And I didn't feel like, you know, that was being very honest because, you know, either she didn't like to go or whatever. I don't know. It just seemed like I didn't like to go to church. I had to go, and my dad didn't pay attention to me that much. And my mom didn't give me much affection. So, you know, she's clearly, I think she has some type of a love addiction, or she clearly an attention addiction. But when your parents don't give you that, you know, you seek it in other ways. And it may not have been, maybe the dad was just a workaholic. I don't know, because she doesn't really elaborate on that. And
I had a workaholic dad. I didn't do porn.
Yeah.
And mind you, he's got 4 other children to take care of too. Yeah. All the attention is not going to you, baby girl. I can't sit here and hold your hand through life. I have 4 other children's mouths to feed. I have a wife who I have to take care of and pay attention to so she doesn't leave me. It can't all go to you.
And then the way she describes
siblings in a big family and cousins and aunties and uncles, and you're homeschooled and you're with your family 24/7. You tell me they didn't give her attention.
I'm one of 10. Stop crying. Like, shut up. I doubled.
Are you really?
Yeah. Shut up.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Yeah, I mean, one of the things that really stood out to me is that then she says, well, and then when I was so disappointed, like I thought it would be the prodigal son coming back and it would be, you know, received in open arms and all this. And it really kind of, I think that must have been a motivator of, I'm going to come out, I'm going to go on Daily Wire, and everybody is going to give me validation. And by the way, I think wanting validation is something many of us experience. I've experienced it. I remember when I went on Tucker Carlson, there was friends of my family that I hadn't talked to since I was 12, and they were like, they were so happy for me, and I liked that validation, but I wasn't going on Tucker Carlson to lie to the world about something that had happened to me. And I think that, she's one of the things, I don't know if you guys caught this, but she said she met her now husband on a TikTok live stream, and that they were friends for 2 years, and then they started dating. And I believe I went on his page, and I didn't see any other photos or things of them together. They started in January. So that leads me to believe, and I could be wrong, that they were just friends on TikTok, maybe going on live battles together, whatever. And then they met up in person. And this is a guy who, if you look at his page, since 2021, he's posting about Christianity and about, it seems like he really is a follower of Christ. Now, that's only from his TikTok, but think about this. I mean, she told us that she's an expert marketer. She says, I know my niche. I developed these personalities, which, by the way, a lot of girls on OF,
exactly,
develop personalities. She didn't.
You just took somebody else's trap.
Yeah, she's not some kind of ingenious. I do think she's good at marketing, but if she was so,
She's just hot. That's all it is. She's just hot. It's not that she's good at marketing. She looks really good.
And she knows how to dress up and do the faces and all that. Yeah. But she meets this guy. And so if you're such a great marketer, but you want to put God first, then why not tell Michael Knowles, you know what? I don't want to do press, but why don't you interview my husband? Oops. Let me change the camera here. Why don't you why don't you interview my husband and let him talk, because he's been walking in faith, and he's somebody, give him the stage, because guess what? Also, if you're a good marketer,
smart.
you realize
that would have made way more sense. Yeah, keep going.
Well, not only that, it would give you 2 times. You would be relevant right now because you'd leave that mystery, you'd be mysterious, but also nobody believes somebody that. Look at all the conservatives that don't believe in saying, well, I'm one gender one day and a different gender the other day, but it's okay and shout out to the Indian Jesus, because this is an atheist that I had a conversation with yesterday about this, and he brought that up. He said, how can you on one hand say this, but on the other hand say, oh no, we must believe her because she's changed. It's not saying that we don't, it's up to God to forgive her. I don't, it's not up to me, but I can, trust but verify, because I don't think that overnight you should go and become all of a sudden. She says she's going to start a TikTok Christian agency, and that now she's telling women that want to get off OF and live stream. By the way, she's been doing it for 3 weeks. Sorry, you haven't made a dollar.
Well, and she said she was going to tell them to also preach. We have a bunch of OnlyFans preachers. Yeah, that's what the freaking world needs.
Like I said,
out of here.
Right. If you're coming from that world, you need to sit in the back of the congregation. You need to pay tithes. You need to shut up. And I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. You ain't coming by nobody's husband. And that's that. Just play your role. But she's talking about, oh, I'm a leader and I want to be. Bruh. How are you a leader when, I mean, you do corn. Who did you lead? I actually played a Division I sport. Those are the leaders. These people are people who actually are leaders of men, who actually have people or women, whatever, but they've led a team. They've led somebody into doing something successful. I'm sorry, but being a successful corn star is not honorable. It's not.
Well, one of the most deceptive parts of the strategy that actually works is that she says it herself. I was forced to go to all these church sermons and support. So guess what she learned? She learned scripture. I'm a Christian, but I don't go around preaching because honestly, I don't know the scripture. And I have a lot of, she shows no humility. I feel like I'm an expert in my field. And every time I do some type of interview, I have this imposter syndrome, even though I know, because I think I have some humility, and she doesn't show that at all. In fact, when he asked her, what made you so different that you made $9 million? And she says, I dressed up and I played all these different characters. Well, actually, Nala, why don't you talk about how OF really works, right? One of the biggest things is that, and I know this just working, with influencers or whatever, but you hire chatters. You're 2 steps removed. You get to do all the dressing up. Somebody that makes $9 million, I would highly doubt that they don't have chatters. And what she's doing, I think Pearl said it, you're talking to people who have no experience in this. Probably they've never gone on OF. I had never gone on it, and I was with one of my friends that's very successful on OF, and I said, can I just see the back end? Because how does this even work, And I was mostly appalled, not by the content she has it in like a drive, but there's the chat that goes back and forth. It can be really humiliating, the things that they're asking you to do. And I'm sure some women are doing that chatting, but oftentimes they hire a man that's sitting there going back and forth. So that sort of mental trauma, you're several steps removed from. And so if she, I think if she wanted to be honest, why not be honest about how the industry really works? Yeah. If you want to get people to not buy corn, then tell the guys, hey, you're chatting with dudes.
Right. Like she's trying to make it seem like she came up with the marketing. She's the one who scaled her business. No, you got in with Creators Inc. and they boosted your status, or some other management company, and they were the ones who were managing everything. They hired, 40-year-old Indian men to be virtual assistants and chat back and forth with your simps. So yeah, like give us the game. Tell us, man, this is wrong on so many levels, because every aspect of OnlyFans is deception. You're not talking to the girl. The requests that are made for the woman to do is outrageous. They're degrading. She didn't get into any of the intricacies and really deter people. All she said was, okay, believe me and accept me into Christianity, which is what she really wants, is believe me and come to my platform. And I guarantee that she converted a lot of people to new subscribers of her, whether it be on her YouTube, her TikTok, her Instagram following or whatnot. But she went on that interview to bring more people to her platform, and that was the purpose of it, because she has to replace the income of the OF, which she is technically not doing anymore as of a few days ago.
I don't even know if she really cares about the income. I think she cares about the attention. I mean, this is a person that has an attention addiction, and they went from one platform for attention to another one. I mean, I'm sure she can live off the $9 million, but I think what she's craving is attention. And the one person she didn't get it from is her dad, right? And she's upset about that. And the other thing that I think is probably the reason why she's not diving into these intricacies of OF, and obviously I didn't expect Michael Knowles to push on that because it would have come off really bad, but she probably, that guy that she just married, I don't know if they had been just dating for 3 months and they got married or whatever, but he's never been on OF. Like, he has a conceptual thought of what she did, right? But I doubt he's going and wanting to look at really what it was. And so probably she didn't want to really expose it. She's sort of doing this vanilla characterization of her experience, but she's not being honest. And the other thing that I noticed is that she's saying, oh, well, I have all these OF girls that are telling me they're going to leave OF for God, and they're asking me how I'm making money. Well, she has no problem telling us that she made $9 million. But when they ask her, how much are you making on TikTok? She just says, oh, it's like not Honda Civic money, but Jeep money. And it's like, no, why don't you actually say? Because if somebody really wants to leave for God, they're going to have to be prepared to lose it all. They really are, because you're not going to make. How much do people make on TikTok Live? I represented influencers, and the only way they really made money is if we did brand deals. And I doubt you're going to get too many brand deals off of being on an OF, like, most Fortune 500 brands, even if you're converted, do not want to associate their brand with the face she made, with the stuff that's out there. I'm sorry, but you can't. No, keep going.
Like I was just going to interject and say, you're absolutely right, Aria. She can't do anything for Disney. She can't do anything for these big companies because what's going to happen is she gets in a commercial and then boom, they're sending these Disney execs all the content that's still on Reddit. So she can't go anywhere when it comes to a big company. So she has to deal with these social media marketing influencer companies because those are the only liaisons that can talk on her behalf and probably get her to, you know, promote some bath soap or something like that, or a bubble bath or green tea or something like that. But she can't really endorse or be the face of a big brand unless that brand is associated to pornography.
I think that she's narcissistic. I was reading the definition of and I don't even use that term lightly, but it says narcissistic personality disorder is a mental health condition in which people have an unreasonably high sense of self, a sense of their own importance. So that would fit when she was talking about being a corn star and a leader. Like that's unreasonable. You're not a leader if you're doing corn.
Anybody even knows about,
They need and seek too much attention and want people to admire them. People with this disorder may lack the ability to understand or care about the feelings of others. So she's going on all these podcasts, but like talking about her family's issues without even talking to her family, you know. Behind the mask of extreme confidence, they're unsure of their self-worth and they're easily upset by the slightest criticism. You know, I didn't even really come for her. I just don't think her conversion's genuine. I don't care what she does. This doesn't affect my life. And I got a lecture about how I just need to find God. Can you imagine the world I'm living in where an OnlyFans model who had a tag team with 2 men is lecturing me on trying to find God? Are you fucking kidding me? And nobody checks her on this shit. So
exactly. And I just want to make a quick point. You know, when it comes to Nala and what she's doing here, it's really leading a lot of men astray. That's really the main point that I want to drill in, because a lot of guys, you know, are falling for this stuff. And what's going to happen if she breaks up with her boyfriend? Then she's going to call him an abuser and he was emotionally toxic and all this kind of stuff. And he was controlling because he was using Bible verses to make sure that I didn't go here. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And she she doesn't really, in my opinion, she isn't really, you know, a true believer, because the first thing that she should have done, instead of all this social media campaign, you need to reconcile with your family. That is the first thing and the only thing that matters. I don't care if you got to bring that preaching boyfriend up there and he preach a sermon. I don't care if you got to go outside your mama and daddy house with a boombox and say, I'm sorry, I love you. That's the first step that you need to do. I don't care if they're saying, I don't want to see you. Pull up. No makeup, get rid of the red wig, come as you were. Come as you were when you left that house. And show them that you're remorseful. And don't just, on a phone call. No, you need to go there. You need to see them in person, because I guarantee they're not going to deny you if you come back in their face, in person, truly remorseful. But the reality is she's not remorseful, and she said it on the interview. She doesn't regret it. She loves the story now. Well, and why is she still using her corn name? That's not her real name. So why don't you take off the things that people identify you with? So, you know, when you created this Nala character, you got the bright red hair, the big fake eyelashes, you got the name Nala. Why don't you take all that off? Why don't you go to your normal name?
Just like he said, this is a brand pivot.
And Pearl's just the evil one for pointing it out. But you guys want OF preachers. Good luck, church. Good luck.
And you're right on about pointing out the narcissist thing. I mean, if you look at psychopathy and narcissism, another thing is empathy. And one of the things that's up on my page, on my Twitter page, Little Miss Jacob, is she basically has a big time Freudian slip. So empathy is the ability to see yourself in somebody else's shoes. And she says, when he asks, one of the things people on Twitter were like, didn't you hear when she said that she felt numb? So I went back and watched that part, and she actually self-owns herself several times. So she says, so she talks in present tense. She says, I feel numb. And she goes, I felt numb. And then she says it multiple times. I think like 4 or 5 times she's speaking in the present, and then corrects herself, because I do think that maybe she is a manipulative narcissistic type of person, and that may be why her parents are so, we're not allowed to question her, but her parents are like, well, she's a manipulator.
Because
and
everyone with family knows the only people that know them like that is your family and maybe the person you're dating. You know them in a completely different way than the rest of the world. If somebody, and if you have a small family, I've met people that have small families, maybe they're crackheads or, maybe they're actually messed up people, alcoholics, that sort of thing. Okay, fine. You don't get along with them, fine. But you have 4 siblings, 2 parents, all of the other siblings, you said they turned out fine, they're married, they have kids. Yep. Why can't you get along with any of them?
Yep.
Why? That doesn't make any sense. Because they know the real you. And instead of blaming, and then the whole interview, she blames everybody else. It's the parents. She never says, you know what, I did it because I wanted to. It was always someone else made me, someone else pressured me. If they just said something, no. You had 4 siblings. They didn't do porn. I had 9 siblings. None of us did porn. These are all just excuses. You did it because of a character flaw. That's it. It's a character flaw.
She knows her audience right now. It's not, all these people defending her on Twitter are like, well, you don't know, she's going to convert all these people. By the way, there's no way that she's speaking to OF girls or people considering, first of all, they're not going to, anybody doing OF on a regular basis does not have time to sit through a 2.5-hour video that's on the Daily Wire. I don't know how they may have heard of her, but nobody's watching that. And the other thing is that, she doesn't talk about how she's going to she says she has no friends. So first of all, who's calling you to ask you, how you're leaving OF and doing live streaming or whatever? And also, how are you going to start a TikTok agency for other girls live streaming? Nobody needs a talent agent for that. I mean, you just go live on your thing. So if you're not going to get brand deals, so what are you going to do? Grift off of them? And I spoke to a family member who has been, in ministry for 13 years this morning, because I almost felt, maybe I'm not supposed to speak on this because all I know is really my faith, but I can see the deception, just like you were talking. I'm so surprised that people aren't seeing this for what it is, but she's basically she's using the same tactics of manipulation that she was using on guys, and now she's doing on Christians. And anybody that speaks out against what she's doing is the bad person. And if you want to go ahead and get manipulated because it makes you feel warm and fuzzy, then go ahead. But I think that's wrong, and it can be dangerous. So, nobody's leaving OF because of her testimony.
Well,
right
and the funny thing was, I thought to myself, so if someone was someone committed fraud, let's say Jordan Belford, maybe, would you let him handle your finances? Yeah, they think it's a good idea to bring an OF chick who said she liked to get men to cheat around married men.
Right. And then if you also watch her interview with the whatever podcast, she was also pro-trans. Also, all the leftist talking points she believes in. So y'all really think she's gonna do a 180 about everything? She still supports LGBT, and whatever. You can do what you want, but the way that they're pushing it and all this stuff, she doesn't really believe in the tenements of the Bible. And I like what Aria said about her lack of empathy, because you're going on this media spree talking about your family who disown you for good reason, and it looks like they're probably going to continue to do that because you're over here spilling their family business, talking about, my mom and dad are getting divorced. Oh, well, they're getting divorced again. Nobody needs to know that.
Exactly. I never talk that. No, you should never talk about family stuff public. No. No, that's a no. No. I've been in media 3 years. Everybody knows you do not talk about your family stuff publicly. No.
Right. And she loves talking about what how her dad and her mom felt. How do you think your brothers felt? They were getting flamed. Whether they were in college and high school, younger brothers, they're getting flamed.
Oh, yeah. And
about your content. That is embarrassing. I mean, that is You can't go as a young man and your sister is on OF, you can't play sports because everybody's gonna be on your behind, making fun of you. And yeah, maybe you're really good at the sport and they'll get over it and all this kind of stuff. But you are the butt of everybody's joke, no pun intended. And I bet that really took a toll on her brothers as well.
Yeah, and if she's really sorry, she should go to the people that she actually hurt and apologize to them. Like you were saying earlier, why are you going to Michael Knowles before your brothers?
They love citing, the prodigal son. Well, the prodigal son returned back to his father in person, not on the phone, not trying to text, not leaving a voicemail, not trying to email him. No, you pull up in that person's face and say, I hurt you and I'm sorry and I feel bad about it. And if I could change it, I would. But guess what she said? She stood on it. She said, if I could change it, I wouldn't, because it's my story now and it works. For marketing. It's my niche.
And she said, I don't know why. He said, why do you think your parents won't forgive you? She's like, I really don't know why. Why are you lying to us, Nala? I mean, do you think that we're that stupid? Maybe your mom is upset with you because of everything, that we're talking about here. And you can't take any accountability and say, I did this to my family and it's all about you. And so that's why I don't believe her. And also it's like, her parents are probably watching this press tour and being like, well, there goes old Nala. She just wants attention. I don't believe this is a real transformation, and I'm not going to feed into that, ego or whatever. She was also on the Whatever podcast saying that she, there was a guy on there debating her that was saying, if my daughter did OF, I would basically disown them until they came back to God. And she was vehemently arguing with him and saying, you're a terrible father. So it's clear that's what she believes. But, I think that if her dad hadn't actually probably cut her off, that would she even be doing this? I mean, I don't think this is the right thing either, but I guess it's obvious that this motivated her to do her dad, wanting her dad's approval. I think that's the main motivator. I don't even think it's money, but
yeah, because now there's this narrative that, oh, well, you make your own family. Oh, you don't agree with your family doesn't love you for your life decisions. Well, you make your own family now, right? But the reality is nobody's going to back you like your blood. And the fact that she tarnished that relationship with her blood, and it's not just her parents who disowned her, but her whole family disowned her because they know her ways, they know her deceptive ways, and they're probably looking at this press run being like, she ain't shit. I mean, how could you not?
What I forgot to say is that my family member, the one that was in ministry for many years, he saw it right away, and he said, the main thing I saw right away is that she's doing she's going like 3 weeks out and doing the preacher route. This is the same thing that many criticize, like mega churches. I don't know the scripture. I wish I did, because then I could come with all the scripture. But I think in the Bible it says you're not allowed to just profit from God without. I don't know what is the scripture. Maybe somebody can say, but you're not just supposed to be using God to make a profit. I guess that's right. Sort of the main point of it all. But.
Yeah.
Maybe she doesn't have critics that know the scripture as well as she does, so she's coming off as more enlightened than us.
I don't know. I didn't God hard enough, so I guess my opinion doesn't matter because I didn't God enough, and I am.
Your spidey senses.
I am not. I am not Gaudy enough. All right. I guess the OnlyFans model out Gods me because she said. She's preaching now. So. And it's unfortunate because I see men, and like the men that we need in the church the most, which is like masculine men that can actually pull out this bullshit. They're never going to go to church when you're platforming chicks like that. Like I think of my dad. My dad is like, literally, he lives his life in a more conservative way than most like Christians. Like he's never drank, never smoked, been with one woman for 30 years, ran a company with over 200 people in it. But he never would go to church because he couldn't stand, he said it all felt performative. Like that's what he told me. So the men that we need the most in church are going to run from church because of stuff like this. Because it's become a show, it's become a spectacle.
Yeah. And it's a damn shame. And they think they're doing a good thing by bringing the OF market to the church. And that couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, it's a horrible idea. and all the women in church, they're the ones cheering and saying, oh, yes, great redemption. Y'all better be holding on tight to your husbands. That's all I'm going to say. Hold on tight. Hold on tight, because she has shown that she will pop that thing for $1. And if your husband got that bag and he's feeling a little tempted on Sunday morning, it's over.
One of the craziest things when I saw the back end of the OF account was like that the men are basically asking to be humiliated to rate their, you know what, and then there's basically a pre-recorded set of humiliating things like, oh, I don't like the color, I don't like the shape, and it's just so bizarre to me, but you wouldn't even know that this is what is going on, and they're talking about their wives and their kids, and that was, to me, more traumatizing than any type of nude photos. I said, if I allowed that into my brain, it would rot. I mean, it was toxic. And I just thought it was wild that she didn't have one anecdote of a story to say, you know, this is the kind of stuff that happens on OF. Maybe the Michael Knowles show wasn't the right place, but if she really wants to get people away from it, like talk about the uncomfortable realities of that world.
Well, thank you guys both for coming on. Reclaim Your Throne. That, like, you've done great journalism on this. This has been awesome. Thank you for getting all of the receipts. It's been really helpful.
Absolutely, absolutely. I wanted to collect everything in one place where people could just look at the thread and go down and really see the timeline and then make your judgment call. If you think that after seeing all the evidence that she's being genuine in her about face away from sin, then by all means support her and jump on the simp train. But if you look at that thread and you say, hey, this isn't adding up, or hey, I got some questions about this, and she is not actively answering any of the questions, even in the Michael Knowles interview, 2-hour interview, and she didn't answer one of the questions about why did it take so long? Why did you delete it yesterday? Like, how much money did you make after baptism? They didn't ask any pertinent questions. They just said, tell us about your life story and what led you here, and then come on in. Like, no, bro. I mean, it's just, we need better spokespeople as a faith to put these people in general. It doesn't have to be just women. Women, men put their feet to the fire and say, hey, you're claiming to be a Christian. You're claiming to have been baptized, but why did you still have this content up? Why didn't you delete it until somebody on Twitter that you don't know, some random black dude on Twitter pressed you? Why all these questions that are unanswered and she is not volunteering to answer them? So we need somebody who's going to ask those questions. And quite frankly, right now, I mean, it's only us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you get so much pushback for doing it. We're just obsessed. Yeah. The evil ones. So evil.
Right.
Where do you want to tell the people where they can find both of you? We're gonna react to the video, so.
Oh yeah, for sure. So you can check me out on Instagram, Reclaim Your Throne. Also, I got a course on Udemy. It's a fitness course. It ain't about OnlyFans. It is the Reclaim Your Throne Elite D1 training course on how to, if you're a young guy trying to become a D1 athlete, or if you're an older guy and you just want to get in shape, you can check it out too. Got a lot of really good advice and really good self-instructed exercises that I created visual modules for, and I did personally myself. You can also check me out on Twitter, Reclaim Your X, if you want to continue to see what's going on in the Nala Ray, aka Nala the Ninja, or Nala Fitness, whatever you want to call it, cycle. So that's pretty much. Oh yeah, YouTube, #ReclaimYourThrone, all one word.
Ari, you want to give your stuff?
Sure. You can find me at Little Miss Jacob on pretty much every platform, and I've got littlemissjacob.com where you can find all my links. And I want to actually shout out a good person to follow if you are looking for a mentor or somebody to look up to. Miles McPherson, he's the pastor at the Rock Church in San Diego. He's a former Charger player. He was addicted to drugs and quit, and he runs an awesome church, but they do everything online. And he's a real guy to follow that has changed his life. So. But yeah, I'm Little Miss Jacob.
Nice.
Well, thank you guys very much. You see, guys, what I'm talking about? Yeah. Talking to the audience. So you you can't keep putting, bless it, you can take this screen out, sorry, bye guys.
So anyways, you already know what it is. It's your boy Reclaim Your Throne. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Send your relationship request to the email down below with a screenshot of your Cash App so I know you pay on time, man. Y'all to be on your marketing with the BS, and you already know. Reclaim Your Throne.
Want to become an elite level athlete? Well, look no further. The Reclaim Your Throne Elite D1 training course is all you need to take your performance from subpar to the creme de la creme of athletes all around the world. The purpose of this course is to give you a comprehensive weight training, speed, flexibility, recovery, and endurance program that is meant to prepare young athletes for collegiate and professional sports. This course is packed with over 2 hours of creative, action-packed lifts narrated and coached by yours truly to assure increased strength, speed, flexibility, recovery, and endurance. Hey, I get it. Training alone can be tough and can even make you feel misguided or somewhat unmotivated. But with this course, I walk you step by step through each and every lift to make sure you're using the proper form to prevent injuries and that you're hitting the correct muscle groups to render maximum results. So what are you waiting for? It's now or never. So go ahead and get the training course today so you too can reclaim your throne.